Welcome back, Ts-158 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I have another Tucson for you. It's a Tucson Ts-158 Wong Design. And before I get started, I've got somebody here who wants to show y'all something. Okay, you got the YouTube play button, and then subscribe. Why? This is artwork from little Miss Ts-158, and why did you decide to do this for me?
Because we're quarantined right now and I have a lot of spare time. So, I noticed that a lot of you weren't subscribed. And my dad's almost to 5K, which he's gonna do a giveaway then. And y'all need to just subscribe if y'all aren't, so.
Well, I thank you, baby. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, what do you think about how you liking this quarantine with Daddy?
It's okay.
It's okay. She likes it. She don't have to wake up early for school, but she still wakes up decently early. Does all her work like a true champ. And then we have playtime. So, and then we take field trips to the gas station. So, I'm gonna get started, and I'm gonna get her opinion on it too, so she can be a part of the review. So let's get some specs out of the way so you can get an idea of how big this knife is. It's not a big knife by any means. You have a total length of 6 1/4 inches. You have a blade length of 2 3/4 inches, so it's going to be legal in a lot of areas. You have a grip area of 3 inches. You have a handle thickness of 0.44 inches, so under that average size. You have a width in the pocket of 0.83 inches. You have a blade stock of 0.127 or 3.2 millimeters. And this thing is ground nice and thin with that full flat grind on here. It comes down to 9 thousandths behind the edge from here to here. And that's at 15 degrees per side. And as you can see, that bevel is nice and skinny. They do a great job, especially their newer designs, on giving you a nice slicer. So before I get started, is there anything in particular? I'm gonna close it up, if you don't mind. If you need me to open it back up, and tell me what you like about that.
Okay, so the texture.
The texture on this handle.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's carbon fiber.
Yeah, and then this is like a smooth texture.
Yeah, that's titanium.
That's what I thought it was.
What about the weight? You like the weight?
Yeah, it's light. I like that.
It's very light, huh?
It's small, yeah. It's about 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters.
Somewhere around there, I guess. She's a smart one in the family, so I'm gonna take her word on it.
I like it.
Now,
it's not my favorite though. I like these ones.
Yeah, that one's with my finish on it.
Yes.
Okay, well, would you like it like if this was your first starter knife?
Yeah, just
whenever
because
you're
I've never
old
had
enough.
one.
Well, I think little Stas is gonna have to get a knife pretty soon, and I think this is a perfect size and weight, depending on if she learns the flipper and how to unlock it and stuff like that.
I can unlock it.
She does a 2-hand deployment method.
But I can't close it. I'm too scared.
That's what I was really talking about. We're not gonna do it right now, but I'm gonna show you. You push the lock over this way.
Oh, that looks too hard.
And then you push the blade.
That looks too hard.
Yeah, right now, once your dexterity gets used to it, you'll be able to do it. I'm gonna show you more whenever we're not on camera. So overall, you like it, but it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite, but I like it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the input. That's little Stasa. Y'all let her know how good of a job she did down below. I think she did a great job. She's always helping me out. She's one of my biggest helpers and my biggest supporter. So let's take a closer look at this. You have a satin finish, pretty much what they do on all their blades. You have a Tucson logo on this side, and then you have the Wong Design and his logo on this side. Blade steel M390, dual fullers up here. You have jimping on the top of the blade. It does give you some traction. You have a perfectly sized sharpening tool right here. It's not big enough for my fingers for sure, and I have small fingers for forward choil. Let's close it up. Oh, and you do have a nice precise point for piercing. You have jimping on the flipper tab that is done just right. It doesn't tear up my fingers, but it definitely gives me the traction I need to break that detent. And the detent's dialed in really nicely, riding on ceramic bearings and ceramic detent. Overcome that detent, it comes rocketing out. You can light switch it is the easiest method, and how the flipper is kind of set up. As you can see, how it's kind of canted back. And let's see if I can push button it, but it's not that comfortable to push button. More suited for the light switch. No thought involved. Let's close it. You have just standard T8 hardware throughout, except for the lock bar insert that is a T6. You have a satin finish carbon fiber that's free of any voids and done really nicely. It is 3D contoured, and they have softened all the edges, so you don't have any hard edges on there. Can't come in contact with that blade when it's closed, and you can't come in contact at the tip either. You have a dual fuller running through the middle of the scale with these two stylized holes. You can actually see the blade there and a little bit of it right there. If I hit the light right and open it up, and you can see straight through. And not so on this side because of the pocket clip. You have that same pattern right there, and the clip actually sits into that channel. Your lockup is about 50%. You have a steel lock bar insert, and they have chamfers to get ease of access on both sides, on the carbon fiber and on titanium, as you can see. So easy access, and it is raised a little bit above the show scale, so very easy to disengage that lock bar. You do have a detent ball ramp. It's kind of hard to show, but there is one on here, so whenever you're closing it, you don't feel the detent jumping over the blade at all. You have some milled lines in there from the milling process, and they're on both sides. If you look close at the carbon fiber, you can see those lines as well. I don't think I can't use the fuller unless I'm using it like that to open up the blade. You can't Spidey flick it, or at least mine you can't. Here's a detent. Got a nice positive click on the detent. 1-to-1 blade to handle ratio. I love seeing that when they, maximize the blade to handle. You have a 3D contoured milled titanium pocket clip that's got pretty strong retention. It's not deep carry, but let's see, I'll show you what it looks like in a pocket. Now, one thing I will point out, as you can see, you don't have really any ramp hardly underneath that pocket clip, and it's really shallow, so I do have to lift that pocket clip up to get into pants, and these are thicker seams on this, and that's as far as I can get it up without really pushing it in there. So that is one drawback of this knife, but I will say it fits perfectly inside. Well, these are really short. Fits perfectly inside the fifth pocket of any jeans, but can't push because of the clip. So that's probably one of my biggest complaints on the knife is the pocket clip. It fits fine in my lightweight shorts, and probably that's when I carry this the most, and some lightweight cargo shorts or some basketball shorts. The blade is completely centered. You have a flow-through construction with some hourglass standoffs there. I get about a 3.5 finger, as you can see, 3.5 finger grip on this. I have a medium-sized hand. So if you have large hands, this knife is probably not going to be one for you. I watched a video on my friends, the Neves Knives, Kara and Jared, and Kara has this knife and she absolutely loves it. So any ladies out there, this may be a good knife for you if you have smaller hands. There is no lanyard hole. I'm good with that. I don't like lanyards. I guess you could maybe, let's see, you might be able to tie one to that standoff. Yeah, you could, if you tied it tight enough, you could probably tie one to that back standoff if you have to have a lanyard. Like I said, good action. The ergos being, you got this, anytime you have this, like, you know, fall back right there, I find it feels good in the palm of my hand. I wouldn't be doing heavy duty stuff with this knife anyway, but it does cut well. It holds a decent edge, and action is incredible. And I like the look of it, or I wouldn't have bought it. Let's get some size comparisons out of the way. Let's see. The first one is the Ferrum Forge Mini Archbishop. These two are really similar in size and in handle aesthetic. They pretty much have the same handle aesthetic and about the same sweep, except you have like that reverse Tonto style on that. And the Best Tech engine, it's another good size reference, but the engine is a little bit shorter. So a little bit bigger, a little bit shorter there. This right here is a good representation of how it feels in hand as well, because I get that same. Well, actually, I get more. You have more of a handle on the Ts-158 to hold on to. All right, let's see. I have another Tucson, the Tucson Perfecto. That is a Tepe design. And that they're pretty much identical in length, but you have, you know, this one's way more comfortable in hand just because of the width of the scales. And then you have the Spyderco Dragonfly warning, a good bit smaller. And two more really common blades. You have the Pillarge, the large Pillar, which is a good bit longer. And then you have one of my modified regular Pillars. So the regular Pillar is a little bit shorter. The larger one is a little bit larger. Alrighty. So I already touched on my nitpick on this knife. It is a little smaller than I typically like to carry, mainly because of how narrow the scale is. Being that this one has a little bit wider of a scale, I feel like I have more of a secure grip on the Mini Archbishop. And being that this one's a very narrow, even though it's comfortable and I get a decent grip, I don't feel like I have as much control as I do with the Mini Archbishop. Other than that, you know, I don't really have too much to complain about on here. That pocket clip's just, you know, especially being that it's sitting inside that fuller right there, it's really hard for your pants pocket material to get underneath there. So that's something I wanted to ask Kara about, how, you know, how it goes in and out of her pockets, and what she thought about it. I'll probably ask her after the video, or maybe if she watches this video, she can chime in down in the comment section. Because I know one of them usually watches the videos. So y'all let me know if y'all watching. Jared, if y'all watching, ask Kara to watch and tell me what she thinks about the pocket clip. So there you go. Oh, and one other thing. I picked this up off of Amazon. Off of eBay with eBay auction. They usually have these readily available there. And if they have it on Amazon, I'll try to leave a link down below if you don't like doing eBay. So there you go. Another Tucson. My Tucson collection has rapidly grown. Maybe I'll do Tucson collection video soon if that's something y'all want to see. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Let me know how little Sauce 23 did. Tell her how awesome her artwork is. She's always putting a big smile on my face, and especially right now when I get to spend even more time with her, being that they're quarantined. So, all right, guys and girls, like I said, hope everybody's having an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.